Yeah. Morning all. Right. Before
Good
I
morning.
start, yeah.
Good
Before I
morning.
start, yeah. So can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether my screen is visible or not? Right? Yes.
Clear.
Yes.
The voice is clear, sir.
Okay. Fine. So in the last session, yesterday, I was discussing about Python, right? There are two types. There are two types of languages: low-level languages and high-level language. Python comes as a high-level language, which is human understandable, portable, and machine independent, right? Means it can run on all the machines and all the hardwares and all the operating systems, right? And human understandable. Python statements look like normal English statements. They're not as complex as other programming. So today just I'll be providing some differences. You can just check that coding of Python with other programming. Coding wise, you can check length wise, complexity wise. So Python, we call Python as a hybrid language because Python has got the features of multiple programming language like the procedural oriented like C language, object oriented like C++, scripting languages like shell script, and modular programming like Modular 3. It has got the concept of modules. Nearly thousands of models Python is providing, 89,300 models Python providing for various domains, right? Okay. Okay. So provide models for various domains like for data science, separate models Python provides, right? For data science, like we have got some models like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, CP, Scikit-learn. So models for data science, for big data, for networking, for testing, for operating systems. We have got separate modules which consists of built-in functions using which we can perform the operations. We don't need to write huge codings here in Python because of these modules or modular programming. You see like Python has got great boom here for databases also, like connecting with the databases. Oracle database, MySQL, SQL Server, Python providing separate modules for Oracle, CX underscore Oracle, for MySQL, PyMySQL, for SQL Server, PyODBC, right? Using which Python can easily connect with any database and perform the operations. And for any types of file formats, Python providing separate modules for this. And what kind of applications we can develop today by using Python? Python mostly used for developing web applications, automation applications. Today we see everything getting automated. So we have got Python as an implementation language. If we take example of data science, total implementation goes within Python, right? Yes, where Python providing models for this data analysis, visualizations, clustering, classifications, recommendations, right? Yes. And even in IoT, right, we are going to write the code in Python. Even in AWS DevOps, we write scripts, automation scripts using Python, right? And web applications, Python has got frameworks like Django framework, Flask, Pyramid, TurboGate, right? Uh, so for web applications creations, Python is mostly used today because it has got framework like Django, right? Framework where it has got many flexible options Python provides. Okay. It has got its own database like SQLite3, its own application server, very flexible options, everything taken care by the framework itself rather writing this code, right? For big data applications also, like huge data, we have got like big data technologies like Hadoop and Spark, especially like Spark, right? Implementations we today like we see in Python, right? So like PySpark. For scientific applications, we have got scientific applications are for numerical analysis, right? Python is preferred for graphical user interface or animation applications. Like we have got tkinter model, PyQt, right? We have got some models for this graphics and this animations. for gaming or game development. Separate framework Python is providing for this. Pygame and PyCora is the frameworks given by Python, especially for game development. PySaw is a 3D library, right? Yes. For scheduling tasks and for testing or test cases, okay. And for software development, right? Software development. So Python is preferred. It's a, I said like software developers use Python as a support language, right? Yes. For business applications, Triton, example of one Triton is a 3-tier application built by using Python. Database applications, for database applications, Python. Okay. So for each and every web applications required, every web applications requires this, right? Database connectivity, right? Network applications. For network applications, we have got a framework Python provide, like Twisted Python, right? Twisted Python is a framework given by Python, especially for networking applications, network programming. Audio and video applications, right? Audio and video applications. Team player, C player. We have got what is that? Team player and C player. These are that some of these applications, audio and video applications developed by using Python. Embedded applications, right? The most famous embedded applications, Raspberry Pi, which uses Python computing, right? And for CAD and 3D CAD applications, and for web scraping. Web scraping means extracting data or harvesting data from different websites. Computer vision for color detection, for object detections, for this, right? In robotics, in data analysis, in generating reports and graphs, right? Python is preferred. Who are using Python, and the topmost applications built by using Python, like Google using Python, right? Google is one of the best example, right, of Python web applications. So here the Google's first web crawling was written in Java first, but it was so difficult, it was rewritten in Python, right? So Yahoo using Python, YouTube using Python for its video sharing service, and Uber using Python, like Uber pricing algorithm implemented using Python. Instagram is built by using Python, right? The reason for Instagram choosing Python, this is practicality of Python, its efficiency of Python, right? Okay, Quora. There are some applications built using Python. Quora, Reddit, Pinterest, all these are built by using Python. Netflix using Python for its subscriptions, right? And its security automation. NASA using Python, because of this hybrid features, we can use the features accordingly. BitTorrent for file transferring, right? Maya, a powerful 3D animation, uses Python's MMOG. Massively multiplayer online games.
Hello,
Yes.
hello.
Yes.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Any query?
Actually, any query. Actually, this one is a Python direct. Everyone using direct or vendor through using.
Pardon?
No, this one Python everyone using direct or vendor through using.
So 1 second. So I was saying that Python today, like if
Huh.
you see Python, the usage of Python, right? So in
Yes.
most of the high-end technologies, you are using Python. The coding is done in Python, right? Like in data science or in a big data like Spark, or for writing some kind of automations, right? In AWS, in robotics, in IoT, in DevOps, right? We are writing automation scripts using Python. Okay, fine. Or even for web applications creations. See, there are two categories of people learning Python, right? The first category of people, right? Learning Python and just implementing in different high-end other technologies like data science, big data, and robotics, AWS, DevOps, right? Right. It's second category of people who wants to have a career in Python itself. Who wants to have a career in Python, right? So Fine. iRobot for military and commercial applications, Iron Port email server. It uses more than 1 million lines of Python code for doing its job. Hardware testing. Companies like IBM, Seagate, Qualcomm, all this, right? They use Python for hardware testing, right? And Dropbox. So these are some of the applications using Python, right? And reasons why Python is suddenly super popular. It's not a kind of technology which is very recently introduced, right? Like it has come almost like it was introduced like 30 years ago. Python was developed 30 years back. Why all of a sudden Python is suddenly super popular? Because of this mainly like very less coding you see in Python, right? Simple and easy syntaxes, multi-programming features, hybrid features, interactive mode. We can easily interact with Python statement by statement. Wide varieties of applications. It's not like purpose based. It's not for a specific purpose. It is not confined to a particular environment, right? It's for developing all the varieties of applications and many built-in libraries, many built-in functions and built-in models we see in Python, right? So the usage of Python has increased a lot, right? So in 2010, if you see the Python usage was 4%. See, 10 years later, it is 31%. Still, it is increasing, right? Now, reasons. Python comparison with other programming, right? Python comparison with other programming. Comparison with other. Okay. So now I will take a task and I'll try to implement the task in multiple programming languages. You can just observe, right? How the Python statements look, coding wise, length wise, complexity wise, as compared with other programming. So two major programming languages today we see in the industry, right? Like for development, right? For enterprise application development, like we have got Python and Java, but Java can't be used for developing all the kinds of applications. Java is never used in automations, right? In like implementing data science, all this, and writing like automation kinds of scripts. Java is not preferred. So, but one thing, comparing the Java and Python, okay, we got Python has got less coding, interactive mode, many libraries, and hybrid language, multiple features, right? Okay. But Java is faster than Python. Java is faster than Python, right? Okay, just observe this task as accepting two values, accepting two values from the user keyboard. Accepting two values from the user keyboard and performing addition of those two values and performing addition, right? So just I want to write first using Java, next I'll write using Python, right? Yes, you can just compare this code of Java and Python. Okay, just I'll take like 2 minutes. First I'll write the code in Java, right? If you've got knowledge on Java, just go to the following code, import java.io.star, right? Class sample, right? Public static void main, right? String ox, throws IO exception, right? Input stream reader, new input stream reader, right? Buffered reader, br equal to new buffered reader, right? System.out.println, system.out.println, right? Enter the first number, enter the first number, right? String s1 equal to br dot read line. So whatever number you're entering, right, enter the first number, you will enter one number, it will be taken as string type. Later I need to convert to integer type to perform addition, right, using a method called integer dot parseInt of the which string s1, right? Yes. So I'll repeat the last three statements for the second number also, right? Enter the second number, right? String s2 equal to br dot read line, int j equal to integer dot parseInt of s2, right? System.out.println, system.out.println, finally saying that I plus j. So this is what the coding in Java, right? Yes, I'll just take 1 minute time in showing the execution in both Python and Java, right? Just observe this. Every statement ends with semicolon. Every statement ends with semicolon, right? Yes. Yes, semicolons. File, save. Okay, I'll create a separate folder for this batch, right? Saving all the Python files within that, right? In the C drive, just I'm creating one folder, Python, 1 second. Python 7 a.m. batch, right? Okay. I'll be saving all the Python files within this. And here, as of now, I'm saving this code like the sample.java, right? Now, go to the command prompt, just come out of this path and see where your file is available. Python 7 a.m., right? Python 7 a.m. batch. Okay. Java C. Java C file name is what? Sample.java, right? Now check it whether if you get any errors, it will display the errors here. If there are no errors, yes, there are no errors, we can execute the Java sample, right? It will ask enter the first number 10, enter the second number 20, sum is what? 30. This is what the coding in Java, right? Yes. So like, I don't know, like how many of you have understood this code, like Java code. So to understand this code, some basic knowledge of Java is required, right? What is class, what is public static void main, what is input stream reader, what is buffer reader, what is br.readline, integer.parseInt, integer.parseInt. Okay, these things, right? Yes. Okay, so nearly you got 10 to 12 lines of code, right? The same task, the same code, just I'm going to write in Python with not more than 3 lines, right? In the last class, I was saying Python coding, not even 1/4 of the other programming language. So here, just it takes 3 lines, right? The same task, same code in Python. Directly, I will write it. IDLE, Integrated Development Environment for Python. Later, I'll show you that step-by-step downloading and installation process of Python. Okay. X equal, I'm writing the code in Python, right? Input enter value of X. Python statements look like normal English statements, right? I said enter value of x, y equal to input enter value of y. Enter value of x, enter value of y. Print x plus 1. That's it. This is the coding in Python, right? Yes. Enter value for x, store in x. Enter the value for y, stores in y. Print x plus 1. That's it. Save it within the C drive, like Python 7 a.m. right. Any name test.py extension, right? Yes. So, but here also in Python, just like Java, whatever you are accepting from the keyboard, yeah, it takes integers or whatever taken as what? String type. Taken as what type? String type. We need to convert to integer type. Just say like int of, right? Enter value of y, enter value of x, enter value of y. Enter value of x, enter value of y. Print x plus y. That's it. Run module. Value of x is 10, y is 20, sum is 30, right? The same output like in Java, what we have seen, the same thing here in Python. Very less coding, very simple syntaxes, right? In Python. Right. Yeah, understood, right? This is the coding in Python. Some more, I'll just show you some more couple of other examples, right? In Python. You can just understand how this coding of Python looks as compared with other. Okay. Observe this right. In other programming, yes. So it's like some of you were asking, right, about this the payment process and procedure. You can just see the chart panel. Online team has just forwarded that message, right? The course, providing the course content, the contact details for future reference, other things, right? And all the things. You can just copy those things, right? So now other examples, right? For example, if I'm taking values in other programming like C or Java, we say array of values, right? Array of values. Here I'm taking some values like here we say in Python list, right? Hmm. Okay, I've taken some list of values. See the coding of print x prints the entire list. Len of x, number of elements within that list. So what very big list, right? What is the length if you want to know, right? Length of x, number of elements. For example, I want to find 20 plus 10 plus 40 plus 30 plus 50. Just observe. So no need to write codings here in Python. You have got built-in functionalities. Some function, sum of x returns the sum of all the elements of this x list, sum of x. Similarly, like the max function, if you want to find the max, right? Max of x, min of x. Max of x is 50, min of x is 10, and I want to find print all the elements in a sorted order, sorted of x. sorted of X, right? It displays all the elements in the sorted order. It will print all the elements in ascending order, sorted order, right? Just observe these results, run module. Len of X is number of elements. Sum of X means sum of all the elements, 20 plus 10 plus 150, right? Yes. Max of X is 50. Min of X is 10. Max of X is 50. Min of X is 10. Arranging all the elements in a particular order, sorted order, right? Yes. If I want in descending order, right? If I want in descending order, there is no separate functionality for it. Print the same thing, like print sorted of X. You will get in ascending order. If you reverse that ascending, you will get in descending, right? Just to say reverse equal to true. That's it. Okay. And okay, this is what you can just check, right? We no need to write coding. Some maybe have got many built-in functions available. And also, like I was saying, like Python has got a great boom because of this modules concept. Modules in Python, right? Yes. Generally, what is a module? What it contains? You can just check two things here. One is the Python coding, how it looks, and second category, right? The importance of modules in Python. Okay. I'll just show you one example, right? A very commonly used model. So to understand what is a model, what it consists of, right? So here, observe this output once again. Length is 5, sum is 150. 20 plus 10 plus 40 plus 30 plus 50, sum is 150, right? Max element is 50, min element is 10. Understand this? Okay. Now, a very commonly used model like math model, right? Math model. So thousands of models Python is providing. In that, math is one of the built-in model. You can just see. If I want to see what is present within this model, dir, directory of math, print dir of math model, right? Yes. Save it first before we go, right? Maths.py. Run module. Check this result. These are all the properties of math model, like various like functions, reminder, sign, square root, power, pi. There are some variables like pi. There are some variables like e, variables like tau, right? I just want to print it, right? Print that values. Math.py. Math.e. Math.py. Math.e. Right. Math.tau. Okay, you can just say directly. You cannot say directly. We need to say math.py. Math.e. Right. Okay. Okay, 3.14, 2.71. Pi value is 3.14, E value is 2.71, right? Yes. For example, in a math module, there are many properties available. You don't know how to use these things, right? For example, square root is there. You don't know how to use the square root, right? How to work with square root. Python is going to help you with the syntax, right? There is a function called help function, right? Which is going to help you with the syntax. Help of what? Math dot within the math module square root, right? Square root. Help on math dot square root. Help on built-in function square root in the module math. Square root, we are supposed to provide one value x returns the square root of x. It's clearly saying provide one value and x returns the square root of that value. So, okay, so now you got how many values we are supposed to provide. So just say print which module, math module, in that which property, square root. How many values? One value, 16 I'm providing. It returns the square root of 16. That's it. 4, right? The output is 4. In the same way, if you talk about any other function or property like power function, help on what? Math dot power, math dot pow, right? Yes. Power run module. Power like help on built-in function power in the module math. Help on built-in function power in the module math. This power function taking two values x comma y returns x to the power of y, returns x to the power of y. Power symbol in Python, x to the power of y. Okay, now you got that. We are supposed to provide two values to this. It returns that x to the power of y. So just I write that. Print math within the math model power function, right? Power of 10 comma 3, right? 10 comma 3. 10 to the power of 3, 10,000, right? Yes. Sorry, here POW, right? POW. 10 comma 3 means x comma y. 10 to the power of 3, x to the power of y. Observe this output at the last, right? 1000, right? Yes. So in this way, you can work with modules, right? Yes. So just if anyone from non-programming or zero programming, just observe the statements, right? How they look, simple and easy to understand, right? Normal, just like normal English statements. So and also like using models, we can generate graphs, I said, right? It's very simple generating graphs in Python. Observe this coding. I'll just show you one or two examples of it before I go with the basics of Python, right? So for generating a graph, we are supposed to import a model called inbuilt model or predefined model called matplotlib. Within this matplotlib, we have got a property called pyplot. So instead of using these very big names here in our program code, we can use shortcut name or alias name as P, you can say, as PLT, you can say, right? Instead of using this very big name in our applications. plt.plot, for plotting a graph, you require x and y coordinates, right? For plotting a graph, we require x and y coordinates. For example, age and incomes, x and y coordinates you require. I'm taking some x coordinates, some ages, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, x coordinates. And for this, the incomes are like this. For 30 years, 40,000. For 40 years, it's 50,000. For 50, like 45,000. For 60 years, it is like 60,000. plt dot plot, sorry, plt dot plot, right? Yes. For plotting, Okay, we will require x and y coordinates, right? X coordinates and y coordinates. PLT dot show, right? PLT dot show, right? Save it. X and y coordinates. Okay, just observe this. A graph is going to get generated. See the statements, very simple statements, right? A graph gets generated in this way, right? Python 3.10 is the latest version of Python, right? Yes. So multiple versions of Pythons can be installed in our system, right? As query was asked, what is the latest version? Just see, I have installed Python 3.9 and 3.10, both version. 3.10 is the latest version, right? Both version available in my system, 3.9 and 3.10. Observe this, when x value is 30, y is 40,000. 40. 30, 40,000, right? 40, 50,000. 40, 50,000, 50 years, 45. 60, 60,000, right? Okay, in this way you can get a graph. See that x coordinate values, you got min value is 30, max value is 60 between this. Okay, now it's very simple, like you got like a solid line graph in blue color, right? By default you got the color in blue. For example, I doesn't want solid graph, I want some dotted line graph, right? Just to keep comma and just say hyphen hyphen, that's it. It will get in dotted line format. In this way, right? If you want only plots, only plotting, just I doesn't want this dotted also, or you can keep, you will get in plottings like okay, 30, 40,000, 40, 50,000, 50, 45, 60 in this one. Like only plottings you can see, right? Yes. Okay. If you want, by default you are getting the graph in blue color, right? Yes, by default you are getting the graph in blue color. I want in red color, just say color equal to red, keep comma and say color equal to red, red color. In this way you can give any color to it, just give comma and say color equal to red. So here I want some label, x coordinate label, I want y coordinate labels, I want, right? Just I want some kind of labels to the x-axis and y-axis. Just say that x label age, I'm giving age, right? Okay, one second. plt.y label, plt.y label, right? Yes. Income. I want some title for this graph, right? Title. Sample graph, right? Sample graph. Age, income, and title, like sample graph. Just observe this output, run module. Just you can see this title, x-axis label, y-axis label, right? X-axis label age, y-axis label income, title for it, like sample graph, right? Yes.
Sir, may I ask one question?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just now I tried in my PC. It's giving me error that no such module. named matplotlib.
Yes, yes, yes. See here in Python, 89,300 models are there, right? Whenever we install Python, whenever we are installing Python, right?
Yeah.
All the thousands of models, you are not going to come along with the Python software. Only
Okay.
commonly used model like math module, OS module, some other commonly used. But for this plotting kind of things and for data science or database related things, you won't see the models for it. Those models we are supposed to download and install. Just we
Oh,
are going to download and install by using a component called pip.
okay.
It's very simple if you want to install like matplotlib. So just to go to the command prompt once, cmd you can go right
Yeah, okay.
and just say go cd slash come out of it. Actually pip install matplotlib pip install matplotlib, right? It will download and installs. For me, requirement already satisfied. It's already installed in my system. So it is not installed for you. It will just downloads and installs automatically. This is how simple installing a module, right?
Okay.
Thousands of models, right? It will automatically downloads and installs it. Pip install matplotlib. Pip is the component you can for installing any Python module. Pip is required. It comes along with Python installation, right? Pip will come along with the Python installation. If Python is installed, only you can see this pip matplotlib. That's fine, right?
Okay, sir. Got it. Thank you so much.
No, it won't give an error, right? So just I'll show you some complex graph, right? I said Python providing many models for different environments. You can check the codings of Python and the importance of models in Python, right? One complex graph, for example, you got like 5 days of holidays. Just I want to visualize how did you spend your time within these 5 days. So visualize by using a graph, right? So different types of graphs are there. So here plot normal graph. Instead of plot, if I give bar graph gets generated. Instead of plot, if I say HIST, histogram gets generated. Instead of the plot, if I say PIE, pie graph gets generated. Scatter, if I say scatter plot gets generated. Right? So just one complex example. If you got 5 days of holidays, how did you visualize? Visualizing your based upon your activities, right? Just observe this graph once. Stack plot. I want to generate stack plot. Just understand this codings, right? How this codings of Python. So same stack plot. Import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. The same thing we have discussed. Days, how many days? 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What activities like playing, working, eating, sleeping, right? Day one, you take 7 hours for sleeping, 2 hours for eating, 7 hours for working, 8 hours for playing. 8 plus 7, 15, 27, 27 plus 7, 1 second. So 8 plus 7, 15 plus 2, 17 plus 7, 24 hours, right? Yes. Day 2, 8 hours for sleeping, 3 hours for eating, 8 hours for working, 5 hours for playing. 8 plus 3, 11 plus 8, 19 plus 5, 24. 5 days, what are the time hours for each activity it is given. So plt.plot means normal plotting. Stack plot is going to get generated. Days, this days, that is the list as first argument. This 4 activities, right, as 4 arguments. Okay. For this 4 activities, days is that x coordinate. For this 4 activities, 4 colors, magenta, cyan, red, black, right? Some later I discuss about the abbreviations for the colors. So to a stack plot, x coordinate is days, 5 days, and this 4 activities I'm passing as 4. X-axis label days, y-axis label hours. Title for the graph, some interesting graph, right? Check this graph now. So day, so you can see days, hours, title for the graph. Day 1, 7 hours for sleeping, 2 hours for eating, 7 hours for working, 8 hours for playing. Say day 2, 8 hours for sleeping, 3 hours for eating, 8 hours for working, right? And 5 hours for playing. Day 3, day 4, day 5.
Here you have not mentioned any color, specific color, no? But still it is coming with different color.
Here I have given color
Okay,
code.
okay, sorry, you go. You gave.
While plotting the graph, x coordinate and y coordinates and the color for each. For these 4 activities, 4 colors are given. These are the abbreviations for the colors. Later I discuss.
Yeah, got it, got it.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So in this way, you can just check, right? The Python coding looks simple and easy to understand. They look like normal English statements, right? Fine. So 1 second.
So, sir, if we try to do the same thing in Java, that can also be possible.
So here in Python, I'm saying about how simple this Python
Yeah,
statement.
yeah. In
Very,
Java, it would be very
very,
lengthy codes and all, right?
very less coding. You can say just to add 2 numbers, right? This is
Yeah.
the coding in Java, right? Input stream reader, buffer reader, or scanner classes you take, right? But here in Python, just enter value of x, value of y, print x plus y. Even the graphs, and any other things also looks simple in Python, right? And
Yeah.
reasons why Python is suddenly super popular because of, if you see that most of the programmers or developers migrating towards Python because of its simple syntaxes, hybrid features, and very less coding you see in Python. Interactive mode means directly we can interact with Python statement by statement, which you cannot see in other programming. In C, we cannot interact statement by statement. In Java, we cannot interact statement by statement. In Python, we can interact, right? Just in the command prompt, go to that command prompt, typing CMD, yes. Just say Python and say enter, right? Yes. Python 3.10 version. This is the any valid Python statement you can type and check it. So in Python, no need of date entering the data types. Directly I can say x as 10. No need to say int x equal to or float y equal to, directly y. To check what is the I want to interact with Python statement by statement. What is x value? What is y? X into y. X to the power of 3. 10 to the power of 3,000, right? Yes. X equal to Ajay. Y equal to Kumar. Yes, any valid Python statements. X plus Y value. Ajay Kumar, right? Yes, adding concatenation. So I'm going to discuss nearly 30 topics, right, in this course, 30 topics. In this, I'm going to discuss some models related to various domains, right? Some models, the concept of models in Python is important. Some models related to operating system, some models related to databases, some models related to data science, some models related to big data, some models related to regular expressions. Okay, so different time modules. Now just observe this course content, right? Yes, nearly observe this at the matplotlib Python matplotlib model for plotting visualizations, different types of graphs, right? So I'll be just giving some more knowledge on this Python usage for data science, right? So here I've given introduction to this data science and NumPy model in brief, Pandas model in depth, and matplotlib model, right, in brief. And here some advanced concepts like iterator, generator, closures, decorators, working with CSV files, Excel files, JSON files, right? Whatever different types of file formats. We have got different modules available for this data analytics. Okay. and some models related to Excel, how to create Excel workbook, how to work with Excel files, reading data into it, writing data into it, right? An operating system model, OS kind of activities. GUI, graphical program, graphics. I'm going to show you some examples on this graphic programming. Take a enter model, date and time related applications, and some database related Python database connections, like how Python going to connect with database. I'm going to show you the installation of one database, and later I will show you the connecting with the database, right? And here object-oriented programming concepts in brief. And here, like I'll show you like how to work with the IDs in real time. We use IDs, right? Like PyCharm, Anaconda distributions, Jupyter Notebook, Spider, Eclipse. All these IDs I'll be showing you how to download and how to install step by step, right? And working with file handling concepts, error handling or exception handling, functions in brief, right? Packages, models in Python. Okay. Any queries from yours? Okay, here just observe this total, right? Python dictionaries, everything, list tuple sets and dictionaries, right? Everything in brief. Lot of discussion on these collections like list operations, list indexing, list slicing, list functions, list methods, list addresses, nested list modifications. Similarly for tuples, looping statements, flow controls, IDs in Python, these things, right? Nearly 30 topics is going to be discussed in brief, right? In multiple examples. Yes. Yeah, any other queries, right? Anyone?
No, sir, just a request, the programming, the codes, whichever you have written, please provide it.
Yes, not on see this. These are sample examples, right? We'll be
Yeah, yeah.
discussing as part
Yeah,
of our course.
yeah, this especially this graph related, sir. It's so interesting, so I can even try and play around it.
Okay. Okay. As of now, take a snap of it.
Okay, that another one you had, no, sir. Could you please show that?
Yes. Mm. Yeah,
Yes, sir. This
we'll
one.
be working with many different types of graph with multiple examples I'll be showing you. Okay, so this we didn't discuss any basics of Python or any basics of this graph or model related things, right? So later, once we discuss that, we'll be discussing step by step multiple examples on this generating graphs in Python.
Yes.
So within this stack plot is there, say normal plotting, bar graph, histogram, scatter plots, stack plots, pie graph, all this graph. Okay, fine. Just have given an example that how this coding of Python looks like. So any other queries from your side, anyone, right? So tomorrow also people can attend the session, right? Same time, same link. So to see more on this.
Just one thing, coming on to the module wise class. So when are you going to start? From starting of the Python.
So today just I've given some examples of it.
Yes, yes.
Tomorrow I'll be going with tomorrow your batch is going to start.
Okay.
Python basics I'll be discussing. Python starting with Python software foundation, Python versions, Python installations, Python execution modes. The other things I'll be discussing from tomorrow, right?
Okay, sir. And just one a couple of things. In this class, you are going to teach us Python with Django framework only, right? Or any other framework?
So here, one second.
Yeah.
Okay, one second. So here in this, it's see the course we can just see in the chart panel. It was provided. The chart panel they have provided the detail. So now for batch, so it's just a fee of just 5,000, right? So it includes Python core, Python advanced and application oriented modules. If anybody interested in this framework and REST APIs, right, separate, you'll be having separate batch for it, right? Here it includes
Oh, Vijay,
Python.
Vijay sir, I have a question.
Yes, yes.
So, like we are just going with a Python course, core and advanced, right?
Yes.
So, what do you suggest? We should go side by side with the framework also, or once after completing this Python, because I do not come from a background where I have a coding experience and all. So, what I thought is first I'll understand what is Python, how to deal with it, and then I'll move it to the framework kind of thing.
Yes, yes,
What
that's
what do you suggest?
the same thing, right? If you want, see, 1 second. So here I said like Python, there are two categories of people who gets updated with Python generally, right? So generally, if you take the first category, they update with Python and they will use Python language in implementation. In total data science goes with Python implementation, coding goes in Python. Like in big data like Spark, Python is used. In writing in AWS and DevOps, writing automation scripts. In robotics, writing automations, right? And in web applications creations, in IoT, right? They will be using in different high-end technologies. They learn Python and gets updated. Okay. Second category is what? Who wants to, these people, right? The first category of people, their career will be not in Python. They'll be either in data science or in Spark or in other AWS robotics. They'll be using Python as an implementation language. Second category of people who wants to have a career in Python, who wants to have a career in Python itself as a Python developer, right? Those people who wants to have a career in Python, they need to go one step forward and just update with Django framework. The Django framework, right? So they need to have the knowledge on Django. And those who wants to go to data science, Spark, AWS, for these things, Django is not required. They're not going to create any web applications or interactive applications, right? But those who wants to have career in Python, who wants to see that Django can just update, right? After 50% of the course completion of this Python, otherwise total completion of this Python, they can go with the Django framework. Parallelly, if you want, after 50% of the course completion, otherwise after the total course completed, because first you'll be learning with that technologies, right? Like front end, like how to create a web page, the HTML, CSS, those things will be discussed before you go with the Django, right? Yes.
Okay, sir, got it. But yeah, say for example, if I have to learn Python for uh, uh, automation testing or kind of AWS DevOps. So for that, also at least basics of framework is required, right?
So here, if you are going for those things, framework, Django framework mostly used for interactive web applications creations.
Okay. That is completely like Python application development with
Yes,
Python.
application development. So for that, for developing this AWS, all you are not going to develop any web applications there, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
interactive applications creations, Django, who can go for Django is to create interactive applications or web applications using Python, right? Where
So
Django is giving different.
so but here in this tutorial also at least some basic knowledge of some framework you will be providing us, right?
Yes, 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 I'll be providing, right?
Yeah. And what will be that framework name?
Django.
Django only. Okay, okay, okay. Got it, sir. Thank you so
Django.
much.
Most Django is the mostly used one, right? Yes. So this is clearly I'm mentioning that this is the course content. Some models related to data science, some are related to databases, some related to operating systems, some related to graphics and databases. Okay. This
Sir, I have one question.
and how to create our own modules, user-defined models, right? That will be discussing, right? Yeah.
Sir, can
So,
you
sir,
hear me?
just a moment before you ask question. I would just request you, sir. Could you please that provide that as what could you please share that with us?
This you can see that in the chart panel they have given that payment details along with that course. You can see that right in the chart.
Oh,
See that
okay, okay. I will see. I have not seen.
in that they have forwarded that course details also, right? Course.
Okay, okay. Got it, sir. Okay,
Okay,
thank you,
fine.
sir. Yeah, please carry on with your question. Sorry for
Yes,
the interruption.
someone was asking query, right? Yes.
Sir, I was just trying to ask one question. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Sir, wanted to understand one thing. In this course will include core and advanced Python, and it will take about 3 months, as per my understanding, right?
2.5 to 2.5 months, 2.5 to 3 months it takes.
2.5 to 3 months. So, sir, I just wanted to check one thing. If someone wants to learn REST framework, right? So Django framework is necessary for that. Django is necessary for that, or REST can be directly learned after core and advanced Python is complete.
See, one thing what I suggest is if you want to looking forward towards Python, right? That the
Mhm.
framework and APIs both are required.
So Django is necessary for REST API framework.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. Even I wanted to ask, know about this thing because actually, even I'm from testing background, so I need it for either API testing or UI testing.
Okay. So okay, fine. We'll be
Clear. It's
we'll,
clear for me
we'll
now,
be
sir.
we'll be following that MBT architecture there, right? A model view templates. Totally, it will be discussed in that. Fine.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so you'll be in this Python, you'll be getting the command and writing this Python scripts, Python coding. So I'm just going to cover 4 things here. Scripting, like object-oriented programming in brief, procedural-oriented programming, object-oriented programming, scripting, and modeler. All this 4 is going to. Why we are spending more time, like 2.5 to 3 months, means total knowledge of this Python package, right? So the only thing is being regular to the sessions and just doing the practicals in the regular basis. It looks very simple and easier to understand, right? I was saying like people from non-programming or zero programming can easily understand, okay, being regular to the sessions and practicing the things in a regular basis. There is nothing, no complex operations, no huge codings in Python, right? Everything are built in functionalities, libraries, models are available for every domain, right? Yes.
Sir, just the labels that you were showing, right? Please share that if
Yeah,
possible.
whatever I'm typing that this one you're talking.
You were showing the syllabus in another page actually. Is that yeah, this one, correct?
It's already shared, right? In the chart panel, you can see chart messages there, right?
Okay, okay.
The chart you can see
Yes,
that
sir. I can see in the link.
in the chart they've given the payment details along with that course content.
Sir, if you are going to start any like Django course for the this batch separately, will you let us know? We will join at that time.
Yes, yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay, after 50% of completion or any time.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
it will be very easy to us.
Okay. So okay, and tomorrow everyone can join the session same time to see more on this, right? We'll be starting with the basics, right? Basics of Python, starting with software foundation, versions and installations of Python. So I'll be showing you in real time. We use IDEs like Anaconda distributions, Jupyter Notebook, Spider, Eclipse. So all those IDEs I'm going to show you, right? Step by step, how to download and how to install. Not like 1 or 2 IDs. I'll be giving you that knowledge on all the IDs, so that tomorrow if you go to any environment, you can be able to work on this Python, right? So all the IDs supported by Python.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually, I have one more query.
Yes.
Yeah, without Python, we can do big data directly.
Yes, Python, like today, like Spark is there, right? Spark with Scala language.
Okay.
Spark with Python also, we can implement Spark with Scala, right? I do handle big data Hadoop. I'm running Hadoop and Spark batches. Like, okay, without the Python also, you can update with big data. Like you require Scala, right? It's part of that course, Spark with Scala. So there is a concept like Spark execution model. You can implement using the Scala language, Python language, Java language. Mostly used Scala language and Python.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So if I'm done with your queries, then I'll sign off for today. Meet you tomorrow, same time. Okay. Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.